Will! Hi! Hi, hi!
Hey,
Alright, so thank you so much for allowing me to interview with you.
it's all
Ooh,
good.
and you're wearing the Mirage. Ooh, pretty,
Mhm.
pretty. Alright, Will, we're just gonna jump right into this. I've known you for a while, but not everybody does. So, Will, who are you?
Well, my name is Will-o-Wisp, or Wispy for short. Um, see, I have many nicknames by y'all, actually.
But so Will, um, hmm, do you consider yourself a VTuber?
Actually, with all this, with reality, yeah, actually.
Okay, okay, why?
Considering that we are a content creator, but we're not in the face of people, like we're not
Mm-hmm.
showing our faces, so we're not necessarily like YouTubers or anything like that. We're actually like AI or virtual reality.
Okay,
So
okay.
technically we are considered a VTuber because we're virtual people, virtual tubers, I guess you could say.
Okay, okay. I can see that. I can see that. So, what type of content do you then produce on reality?
I'm more of a wholesome streamer.
Mm-mm.
I like to help people whenever they need help. I like to be a shoulder for people to cry on. I'm more of like a simple chatter, but I also tend to do tarot readings and like breakdowns of dreams and stuff like that when people need it.
Ooh. Will, did you know about the tarot feature that's inside of reality?
Oh,
Alright, so in your
that's
stream commands, as the streamer, you can just do /tarot and it will flip a tarot card for you. So you can do your, yeah. I did a reading for myself one night and I was like, this is actually really like, and like I did a simple array of three and I was like, oh, okay. And it was really fascinating. Um, so yeah, so for
huh.
those of you, I know you have a deck. I know you have, more than one. But for those of you who don't have a deck, maybe, that's an interesting way to explore tarot. Um, so Will, how did you end up here? How long have you been here?
See. Believe it or not, I was actually, whenever reality actually first started, I made an
Oh,
account a long time ago and I gave it a shot, but it was at its like, not so great of a peak. So it
infancy.
was just starting off. Yeah, its infancy, pretty much. And there was nothing really going on. There was just a few people every now and then you'd see. There
Mm-mm.
wasn't really any gotcha. There wasn't really any dress up or anything like that. It was just a simple makes. And well, I thought it wasn't for me a long time ago, so I ended up deleting the app. But
Mm-mm.
sure enough, 4 years later, it got bigger, a lot
Mm.
bigger, and a lot more customizable. So I decided to come back and give it a shot, and boy, I'm glad I did because I met a bunch of nice friends and amazing people.
All right, so that answers another question that I was going to talk about was if this is your first account. So you said that you came back to reality. Is the Will-o-Wisp account the same account that you first made, or is it a
Yes,
different account? Oh,
it's the same account. It
okay.
originally was called Barely, like as in bear, like
Mm-hmm,
barely.
mm-hmm.
It was originally called but I eventually changed the name to Will-o-Wisp because I wanted to help more people. And I felt like Will-o-Wisp are known in legends to assist people and help them out whenever they need it. So that's kind of what I want to do.
Ooh, we got some lore. We get some lore. I always love listening to VTuber lore. um, so you left and you came back, so that answers it. That's another question. As one of the questions is why do you stay? So why did you come back?
Well, I wanted to make friends, and I remember this app was there to actually help people, get out across the world a little bit more and meet new people. So, and I thought, because I'm not home a lot of the time,
Mm,
And I was trying to look for something that, could assist me whenever I'm not home, but yet people won't see exactly my face until I feel comfortable enough to show them. So making an avatar the way you want to do it and stuff like that, and where your comfort zone feels and everything like that, helps a person feel more confident in talking to people and meeting people. And eventually, I met a bunch of cool friends in the first few days I joined reality again. That includes you, ma'am.
Oh yeah, oh
But I
yeah.
super enjoyed it.
You're stuck with me. You're stuck with me, my lady. Um, yeah. All right, so I like getting to know more about the people. Like these interviews, I really have been enjoying them. Um, but I gotta know, Will. I know I've seen you on Twitch. Okay, so I know you have something like that. But do you have any experience being a content creator on a different platform?
Uh, let's see. Well, I wouldn't really call it like content creating. I kind of helped out a lot whenever back in the past on Final Fantasy 14, me and my guild made a magazine every month, and we would
Ooh.
ship that out on Twitter and stuff to show fashion design and also quick tips and hints to go against raids and stuff. So I
Mm-mm.
have a bit of things, and plus I would draw little comics for those magazines as well.
I never knew that about you. I never knew you were a zine person. Oh yeah, I should be like, hey Will, wanna make a zine? Oi, oi, oi. I that is so cool. That is so cool. Um,
I
so
would also
would you
go
be
around and while they're posing and stuff, their models, I would take
uh-huh,
pictures of
uh-huh.
their models and stuff.
So would you be interested in doing that type of content again? Like with because in reality we have so
Yeah,
many pretty avatars and so many different fashions. I'm just thinking we actually make like a
I was
fashion squad
kind of hoping.
maybe.
I was kind of hoping in the future that we can do that with reality, but we could also do that for Forbidden
Oh. All right, and so that leads me
as
to
one of
another
our
question.
models.
Yeah, yeah. So that leads me to a different question of are you planning on expanding on VTubing? Are you planning on just being a reality VTuber? Are you planning on using like this model? I know you've used your reality models on Twitch before. Are you planning like live 2D? Like what's the plans, ma'am?
Um, due to the fact that reality has such a wide arrangement of model customization, I
Mm,
want to use more of reality's models. But I eventually want to, due to the fact that I'm part of Forbidden and the future that it holds, and I plan to stick around for it. Um, I want to expand. I'm trying
mm,
with
mm.
Twitch and seeing how far that goes.
Okay.
But I kind of want to
Okay.
get a little bit bigger eventually and kind of spread what help I can help people with. Kind of give them
Mm.
something to smile about every day.
Aw. Aw. Okay. Okay. So Forbidden is like a startup agency in the United States that is like in the processes of being made. Are you excited about being like leaving indie VTubing to join an agency?
I'm very excited. It's kind of like it's. I've always wanted to do something along the lines, but due to the fact that I'm a very shy person in real life, I couldn't do YouTubing and I couldn't do anything like that because I was scared to ever show my face.
Mm-mm.
But reality has made it so much easier for me to actually reach out and be confident.
Oh, okay. So it has helped
So,
like your self-esteem, your confidence. I get that completely because I have none. Like literally, people are like, "Well, oh, don't you have confidence?" I'm like, "No." Um, so why leave indie VTubing? Like, what do you think you're going to gain with joining an agency? Because I feel like a lot of people like they're like, "Oh, I can do better as indie," or like, "Why would I ever like why join an agency?"
well, the reason why I wanted to join an agency because I was looking around before we decided to do what we were doing
Mm,
is because the fact that they can help you, they can assist you, they can help you get to further reaches compared to what you would be able to do on your own.
mm, mm.
Um, Plus, they would assist you in like saying, "Hey, I don't know this language, but yet I'm willing to learn it," and they'd be able to assist you in that, helping you with your models and stuff like that. Even though I really want to use reality, but I also know that we can't exactly use it for publicity and stuff. There's certain things. So
Mm,
having like just a general image of who I am as a being from the inside out, um, because you get to technically create whoever you want to be. And I
mm.
think that's pretty cool that you aren't held to one face.
Yeah, right. I feel like a lot of my friends, and you, again, we've said it, Will is a good friend of mine. We have a really hard time sticking to just one image. We're always constantly changing our faces. But that's just who we are. So don't be surprised if you see Will around and Will doesn't look like this and you don't see me and you see me in a different video and I don't look like this as well, right? Um it's just the name of the trade. Um so what type of content do you then want to do as someone on a different application? Like, are you going to do fashion? Are you going to do zines like you had mentioned before that you've done previously? Are you going to be like just game content? Are you going to stick to being like wholesome, just chatting comfort streamer, combination thereof? Like, what's the plan, ma'am?
I do want to continue with my comfort streams to make sure that people can feel okay to come to my streams whenever they want. I've actually recently had quite a few people actually pop up and tell me that they had some issues, and I was able to help them out.
Oh, okay.
Um, See, I love video games, but there's certain video games I like to play. I'm a very big spoopy person, so I
You are
like
a
to
very
play
big
spoopy
spooky
games.
person.
I want to extend that because I enjoy a good scary
Ooh,
game.
ooh,
Um, I do want to eventually continue the zines because I
mm-mm.
enjoy the zines and so making them how they came out and actually having some people poses, which I'm hoping in the future that reality will eventually have actual like full blown movement to where girls and men can actually pose, and I can actually do a lot more with that and take a lot more beautiful pictures,
Mm-mm.
and
All right,
probably
so.
eventually start doing like bios in the magazines.
Ooh. Ooh. That would be cool. That would be really cool. Um, so we're going to talk about some culture stuff. All right. So VTubing is a subculture of streaming. How familiar are you with the VTubing like culture?
Um, I'm not exactly like I wouldn't say I am a veteran. I
Mm-mm.
just know like a general gist of it and a little bit more than that because originally somebody just knowing you just be like, oh yeah, those are moving characters. No,
Mm-hmm.
I know these are people behind a character that make these models themselves or have somebody make them for them in the image they require. And they use that
Okay.
due to the fact that they might not have that self confidence in themselves.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And
Okay.
I learned that there's actually a platform for VTubers that just recently appeared, apparently.
Oh. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
What?
It's an app, and it's kind of like Twitch, but it's not exactly Twitch. It's actually a platform for VTubers to feel safe and be able to do their content on. I can't remember
Oh.
the name right off the top of
Okay,
my
I
head.
can we can look at that. I can look that up in a little bit. That'd be really interesting because I know a lot of people feel kind of overwhelmed and underlooked at on like Twitch and YouTube because they're competing against so many other face streamers. And it might be an interesting like segue almost to like, building blocks up to a bigger platform, right? Um, and that's what some people use reality for is even just a stepping stone to get ready and like to learn the skills of being a streamer. So when you do the move, are you planning on keeping a personal reality account that's separate from your like Twitch and YouTube, or are you planning on just being done?
I'd probably say keep personal. That way, so if push comes to shove, my personal account will not be harmed in any way if things do
Mm-hmm.
come down to it.
Mm-hmm.
So No, I plan on making probably something different for the Twitch and YouTube whenever it actually does come out to be proper.
Okay. Okay. Um, if you had any advice to give to either yourself when you had first started out or to anybody who is first stepping into streaming, what is that advice?
Let's see. I'd probably tell you to be yourself. I mean, the fact is that people cannot see your actual face
Mm,
gives you a little more confidence, but be yourself when it comes to your streams. Don't worry about the numbers. Don't worry about the faces that pop in. I mean, sure, great things and tell them hello and wish them a great day and listen to what they have to say. But be yourself. Number one, be true to you. Be true to
mm,
you as yourself because you are you, no matter what face cam thing shows. And make content how you would do it, not how YouTubers, other VTubers, or anything like that comes to mind. Do you?
mm, mm. I love that advice because I feel like some people just get, and I know I have, I've definitely been in that headspace of like, I need to be on the trend. I need to be doing what everybody else is doing because that's what's getting views. But you get burned out very easily doing that and you don't enjoy streaming any
Mm-hmm.
longer. And then it's like, well, why am I putting myself through this? Why am I still streaming when I don't enjoy this? Like it really makes the burnout happen. Um, have you ever experienced streamer burnout?
I have, but it was more towards it was last year actually.
Mm,
Um, it was during a moment of where friends were kind of falling off or falling apart, and I wasn't caught up in all that mess though. But I was
mm,
playing the
mm.
Switzerland card. But I was worried that if I streamed at that time, I was going to get caught up in a lot of stuff. So I kind of like felt
Okay.
scared at that time,
Mm, mm.
but worried, like a mix of fear and worry if I actually tried to stream. So I took a small hiatus last year and
Okay.
tried to let myself kind of regain my confidence in my brain.
Do you think taking a hiatus hinders you or helps you as a streamer?
I feel it's okay. Like we have to remind ourselves it's okay to take a small break. It is
Mm,
okay to breathe. It is okay to step away from virtual reality. It is okay to step away from the computer or the cell phone. Sometimes you need to recollect yourself and remember who you are before you're actually able to start streaming again and actually knowing how to be yourself. So if you ever feel that burnout, if you ever feel like you cannot do it at that moment, it is okay to take a step away. It is okay to take a break.
mm, mm. I have taken a hiatus as well, and I truly feel like that is some major words of wisdom because you can always come back, you can always rebuild your brand, but if you just work yourself into the ground, like you have other things, you have other things of importance, like your health is a major, you need to be healthy. And so if streaming is affecting your health, you need to give yourself that break. um so I want to know a little more personal. Again, you don't have to answer this question, but this is one
Okay.
that I really want you to think about. Do you think your personal culture affects your streaming? And by personal culture, I mean everything that makes you. So your socioeconomic background, your race background, your geography background. So like I know, if I'm living on the East Coast versus the West Coast, there's going to be cultural difference in America, let alone different countries. Um, how does all of the things that make Will you, how does your personal culture affect how you stream?
Um, Honestly, I don't truly bring a lot of that into it. I mean, of course, like there is some cultural differences when it comes to language barriers.
Hmm, hmm.
Um, which I hope to close one day, which because I'm trying to learn different languages so I can actually, close those boundaries between me and other cultures.
Join
Um,
us. Join us in multilingual land.
I try. But Honestly, I try not to bring all that in there because I know that in the real world there's so much toxicity on the whole cultural and the whole difference of races and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I try not to bring that into my streams whenever it comes down to it. And um, because I want to make this, I want to make my streams, I want to make my reality something that everybody can enjoy. Somebody
Mm-hmm.
where people can feel free to talk no matter what they are, no matter who they are, no matter where they came from. And that's why a lot of the time you'll hear me say good evening, good morning at the same time because different people live in different areas.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Uh,
I appreciate the fact that you're like, no, I'm not gonna let any of like the real life boundaries really separate us. And I know some like especially in Japan, that's a very common mindset. Like you're not really gonna talk about my gender, you're not really gonna talk about my age, you're not really gonna talk about like a lot of like the stuff that makes your your person. So I do want to know because on the North American server, it's very common to like put your age in your bio, to put your gender and like pronouns and things like that. Like for you specifically, not for your model. So which mindset do you look at when you like put stuff in your bio?
um, I try to look at something whenever I put my stuff. I tend to put more of something that's funny, something that's uh, that will draw attention.
Mm-hmm.
And then due to the fact that I do have dissociative identity disorder, I try to let people know because the fact that some of my content might change differently. Like
Mm-hmm.
one day I might be this hyper crazy lunatic, and then the next thing you know, I'm going to be like this super social, like serious person. And it comes with the fact that I do have DID, and it's a
Mm-hmm.
little. So I try to let people know in my bio that I am a streamer that does have a DID, and this
Mm-hmm.
is what you would probably see in my streams. So please be warned. If you like me for this content, please wait around for that person to come back around. Uh, and people have realized it. I've even had people think that I was a guy for a while because one of my alters actually came out and he's actually a male. And I
Okay.
actually had some people say, I thought you were a guy for a while. It's like, well, I mean, I can be
Oh,
anything
you're not
technically.
wrong, but you're not right. um, so obviously you're very open about having did and things like that. Do you obviously you feel comfortable and you have really because I've been to your streams a lot, okay? So I know you've really explained what it is. Do you think that being a streamer like that's okay though, like would you encourage other streamers who do have some sort of mental disorder like did or bipolar or anxiety depression, do you think that they should feel comfortable admitting to that?
Honestly, I think people should feel comfortable being who they are. Because the fact is that if you're trying to hide something like that, I mean, and they see it, I mean, they're
Mm,
going to point it out instantly. They're going to say something about it. I've seen people tell people, hey, I see that you have ADHD. And it's just like, how do you know that? And it's like, oh, I can tell the way you act. So, I mean, don't be scared of being who you are. Being who you are is what makes you you and a beautiful, beautiful person. So, I mean, own it. Own who you are. Be who you are. If you have issues, it is okay to tell people. Like, even people know I have epilepsy.
mhm,
And I tell them, hey, I have epilepsy, so no big flashing lights or anything like that. Or if they tell me, hey, I'm going to have like this YouTube video with a bunch of flashing
mhm,
lights, be warned. I'm like, okay, thank you.
mhm, mhm.
So, if you have issues, if you have things that you feel that could hinder you in any way or any form, own up to it. Be yourself. Let people know that, hey, I don't feel comfortable for this reason, this reason, and this reason. That way,
Mhm.
so people will know how to respect you in your streams whenever it
Yeah,
comes down to it.
boundaries are super important. Boundaries are incredibly important, and a lot of new streamers don't realize that they can put boundaries out. And when you put a boundary out, make sure that you are reinforcing it. Like even last night, I had something happen in my stream, and I had friends DMing me, and they were like, "Hey, if you need me to like assert your boundary for you, I will." Like then so that's the thing. And other people need to realize is that you do have support of your community, of your friends that you make when streaming. So if you don't ever feel comfortable or like you feel like you're not being heard, don't be afraid to reach out to others. Okay. Um, but no, so speaking of boundaries, I'm going
Exactly.
to ask you a question about the moderation system. So Reality has mods now. Do you like the feature? Do you use the feature? Would you change the feature?
Oh no, I enjoy the feature. I've actually had a lot of my friends protect me because people will come on there and start trying to, I guess, riz me up or something, and they'll say something explicitly out there. They will cuss in my stream. They will say something. They'll say, "Hey, sugar lady, mama thingy," and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
and then my friends are like, delete, and I'm like, uh.
All
So
right.
no, with moderation, I feel it's a good thing to have because you have spammers for one. You have
Mm-hmm.
people who come in there and try to cut you out, or they say some kind of slur or slang that is very inappropriate. And you have moderators who are there to protect your stream and get rid of these people for you. Because sometimes you're not always paying attention. Sometimes you're
Mm-hmm.
off talking or avatar rating or doing something else, and sometimes it's just hard to catch all that. So thankfully for all my
Mm-hmm.
friends and my moderators, it's very good thing to have.
All right. Okay. I got a few more questions and then I'll let you leave. I'll release you from my clashes. Um, is there something on Reality that you would like to try but you just haven't tried yet?
Well, can I say a wish kind of type thing? Like,
Sure. Yeah,
can
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
have like
Yeah.
full body movement?
Oh, yes, yes, because we did.
Full
So
body
Reality had
movement.
hand tracking for April Fools this year. So we got to experience like moving our hands and like the upper torsos. But you're saying full body. Okay, okay. That's something you
Especially like I
could.
know that you and Feifei did a dance thing one
We
time,
did. We were doing a Just Dance stream. We did that for like a good month.
and I would have loved to see y'all actually do that on reality, like full blown move.
Mm-mm.
It would have been
Uh,
great.
oh my goodness, no, we would have died. Do you know how bad it was doing all of like the Russian squats? Oh, yeah. Oh, I can already phantom burn, phantom burn. Um, are you excited about the new feature that's coming? So Reality Rooms is dropping on the 22nd of August. Are you excited about rooms? Do you think that, I'm excited because I get to sit in a chair finally. I literally, all I want is a chair. That's all I want. I just want we're
Yeah.
standing so awkwardly. But are you excited or are you
Um,
feeling that there could have been something better to come?
well, I mean, I'm excited for anything that reality has to bring, honestly. But I will admit, I am a little worried for the
Mm.
phone
Yeah.
because the fact that a four-person collab makes your phone turn fire pretty much. I can't
Mm-hmm.
imagine having four people inside a house
Yeah,
with
right? That
streaming.
is a concern of
Um,
mine, and a lot of other people were like, "What about our battery? What's gonna happen?" Um,
Because like with everything, because it was showing stuff that moves, and I'm like, that's going to be a
mm-hmm.
lot of like data. That's going to be a lot of stuff. I mean, that's just a bunch going on right there. So I don't know how our phones are going to handle it, but I bet reality is going to try and do their best to fix it and
Oh
implement
yeah,
it in the
they
best way they can.
always are. They are always constantly maintaining and switching things and really doing the best that they can. They are very proactive. All right, so last one. Do you have anything you'd like to say to people? Like any advice, any last words?
See, whenever I first started, I was scared crapless to actually start streaming.
Mm-hmm.
And I give anybody the advice to start small. You don't have to start streaming, guys. You can slip into talent streams. You can slip into avatar rating streams. You can go into the small things and just open yourself up to collabing. Start small and then grow over time. Even because I know some people are not exactly gun ho to start a collab and or start a stream for that matter, and
Mm-hmm.
do their best of where they can. So if you have that fear, if you have that doubt that you cannot do this, start small. Join other people's streams. Have fun. Sing it out because that's what I did whenever I first started. I didn't exactly start streaming. I
Oh, I
actually
didn't
went into
start streaming.
challenge
I
streams and sang
definitely
my
didn't
heart out.
start streaming. No, I was making pretty little avatars all by myself. And I was
I
lurking.
was singing.
Yeah. No, I
That's
think
where
that's
I
very
started.
important advice to have is just take it slow, let it come to you, get comfortable, and then jump off the diving board into the deep waters. But thank you so much, Will. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much for interviewing with me.
That was fun.
I love you.